Hello and welcome to Driving Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the podcast where we talk about 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into this Tuesday's episode, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. If you head over to patreon.com/Driving Double Feature Podcast, you get fun games, fun conversations, and that's all just for $5 a month. You help support us. We get good content out to you, but no main show content is locked behind the Patreon. But getting into today's movie, we are talking about Night Tide from 1961, directed by Curtis Harrington and starring in his first ever starring role, Dennis Hopper, which, kind of a nobody. You wouldn't know him. I don't think we've ever
Oh,
covered a Dennis Hopper movie here yet at all.
hold on. He's King Koopa. Don't give me any of that.
Yep, you're actually right. He is King Koopa, so yeah, and whatever the bad guy's name is in Waterworld.
I couldn't tell you that.
Mr. Water.
But he's also in um he's in like wasn't like before this he was in like Giant or something.
Was he in Giant? I know he had done TV before. He was in plenty of TV, and then oh my God, he's one of those people on Wikipedia that like you have to click a whole nother article to look at his
That's always
filmography.
so annoying. That's I know we're doing a thing right now, but like that's so annoying. Like
I
anytime
hate
everyone's like,
that.
"Oh, you have to you click the tab that says filmography," and it's like, "Okay, click this link." I was like, "Well, obviously I want to see it. Just show it to me."
Yes, yeah. But yeah, he's actually in plenty of movies before Night Tide. But Night Tide's his first like movie he starred in. But he was in Rebel Without a Cause. He was also in Giant, Gunfight at the OK Corral, Sayonara. And then Night Tide, I guess he had been up and coming in the world. And he actually met with this director, Curtis Harrington, who had just been making independent avant-garde short films for a while, and he had this script, and Dennis Hopper said he was just really interested in it, so they got together to work on this one. Which this movie is independent, which old independent movies are interesting to me because it feels like that was a concept that was barely even there, right? Like you like I think the concept of an independent movie didn't come around till like the late 50s because you had to get film and all of that. So the idea is pretty interesting. But I will say I knew nothing about this movie other than I've had it on my watch list for a long
Why?
time.
What made you put it on your watch list?
The poster, actually. So I don't know if the poster looks notable to you. I know that's so
Another
silly.
Nathan special.
Yeah, exactly. I like the poster, so I want to watch it. But it is a cool poster. It's like a blue. It's got this lady, and she's kind of like waving in the wind. But yeah, that's it. Just I like the poster. I'm like a kid at a video store, okay?
That one. That one.
Yeah, that one. And I'm guessing you knew nothing about this movie going into it.
Nope, never heard of it. And when I saw Dennis Hopper, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, was that like a oh okay or oh okay?
No, it was
Um,
so okay.
okay, good. Um, so what this movie is about, Dennis Hopper rolls into this town and he's a sailor and he's wearing his little sailor outfit. And he goes to this jazz bar and he just sees a girl that he really is attracted to, and he becomes a creep. He is a creep and like really forces himself onto this girl. Like it is, it's hard to watch at
Uh,
times.
Do you notice though, like that he's so bad at it too? Because
Yes.
he's sitting, he's sitting at a table,
Hmm.
and then he sees the girl, and he walks over and sits at her table, and was like, "Hey, can I sit here? Because I can't see the band from my table." And then he just turns his back immediately to the band, so he can't even he can't see them.
I thought that was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. Like, yeah, I can't see them, and then Ben looks away to go talk to her. And then he keeps talking to her, and she's like, "Can you please be quiet? I'm trying to listen to the music."
Multiple times she tells him to leave, like, "Leave me alone."
Yes. And then all of a sudden, there's this weird lady that pops in and speaks a different language to her, and then walks away, and then she feels like she has to go, leaving Dennis Hopper just like in a weird position. Dennis Hopper follows her, and then come to find out, she gets pushed until she says yes, pretty much, because he's like, "Can I go up to your place?" Because she lives above a merry-go-round. Can I go up there and have a dinner with you? And she's like, "No, no, no." And then she's like, "Okay, whatever. You can have breakfast with me tomorrow." So his methodology worked, I guess. Push until you get a date with her for breakfast.
That always works. You just, if you're really persistent, they say, actually, I don't want to keep continuing
Yeah,
that.
actually, I don't think so. um, but anyway, it's too much. It's too much. But he gets in, so he's giddy. And I don't know. There's a scene right after that where like Dennis Hopper balances on like the boardwalk beam, and it looks very unstable. And I don't think that's something you could get away with nowadays. Your lead actor standing on this like unstable boardwalk that could fall at any time. Very different time to make movies back then.
It's independent. These are risks you have to take.
You have to take it because that was so important to the movie. So I do have a question. How did you feel about Dennis Hopper in this movie?
That Dennis Hopper was pretty bad in this movie.
I thought so. Yeah, I totally agree. It was weird. I was looking at the YouTube comments because I watched this on YouTube because the one on Prime is colorized, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh
this is
boy,
yeah." It was really bad. So
I
I
should have
did.
watched that one.
Oh yeah, you hated the black and white images. Yeah, it was so bad too. It was like a bad colorized version, which they're all bad, but this was like on another level. But yeah, but the comments really were praising Dennis Hopper's performance, loving it, and I was like, no, he's so bad in this movie.
He is putting too much awkward energy into making this awkward character. It's like where he just
Yeah.
comes across like he's just really bad at acting.
Exactly. I think that maybe that's what it is there's too much silence and too many odd moments and it just comes off as maybe bad acting or he's just young. Dennis Hopper was, he would go on to have great performances, but he had to work his way there, I guess.
Well,
But
I do think like his character is supposed to be awkward
yeah.
because he's not portrayed as like this big Casanova type of character. It's more of
Mm.
just like I really don't know how to flirt, and so I'm going to just be very persistent about it until you say yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And hey, it works. And and maybe it just doesn't work effectively. But then again, I wouldn't say any performance in this movie is particularly good. Mora is the girl in this movie, and once again, she's also supposed to be kind of weird. But I also don't think it's a great performance. As we learn about Mora, she was found on. They made it sound like the most obscure island ever, but it's Mykonos is where they find her, which is that's not that crazy. It's not like some secluded weirdo island.
Well, I was about to say I've heard like when you said that name, I was like, wait, I've heard of that.
Yeah, yeah, it's Greece basically. People vacation
Hmm.
there all the time, but they found her there and she was and I guess she just really likes the ocean and water. And what she does is she plays a one of those fake mermaids for kind of like not a freak show, kind of a freak show where you pay a
Like
quarter.
it's a little sideshow type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, like a sideshow, and you just see this girl in a fake fishtail and you can look at her. But she is definitely weird. She really loves the ocean and she serves fish for breakfast. She serves mackerel for breakfast, which the idea of that made me feel a little nauseous.
Did you think at any point like the twist was going to be like she was actually a mermaid?
Maybe not a mermaid because you don't see her with the tail or anything like a real tail. Like she walks, but I did think maybe the twist was going to be that she was some type of ancient siren or something like that. If this movie was made maybe 10 years later in the 70s, I 100% think that that's what they would have gone for is that she actually was some kind of weird mythical being.
This is like the sleazy version of Splash.
Kind of. It's yeah, exactly. Or I actually thought it kind of made me think of the lighthouse a bit. I think
Oh,
this and the lighthouse would pair really well together, actually.
probably so.
Yeah, it kind of has the same tone. So this movie is people call it a horror movie. I wouldn't say it was scary, but it's got a weird energy to it. It's definitely a little funky, a little eerie because you don't know what's going on. Because Mora's past two boyfriends were both murdered. Um,
Mhm.
and everybody points to Mora, and the captain who picked her up kind of passes this story that they were ancient sirens that they would take in men and kill them in the sea. And he kind of makes Dennis Hopper think, oh, she is a siren, and I need to get, like, he's like, hey, you got to get away from her because she will end up killing you even if she loves you. um which is, I think that's an interesting movie. I actually thought it was a pretty interesting setup for a movie. And actually kind of bold for the 60s. I wasn't expecting this from a 1961 movie, especially really leaning into not knowing. I do think this is a good setup for a plot from a movie of this era. I do like the idea of like this mythical being and Dennis Hopper kind of being tossed around and like not knowing what to do. I do feel like maybe its age makes it so it's not quite as tense as a modern movie would do it. The tenseness isn't really there. It's kind of Dennis Hopper going around from place to place, kind of being like, I don't know what to do. And then not knowing what to do for almost the whole movie.
I think the biggest problem for me, at least, is it's a good premise. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, is she like this mythical being? Like, is she the one luring in these guys and murdering them or
Mhm.
whatever? And I just kind of think the movie's kind of filmed in a really boring way.
Mhm. No, I feel that.
Um, I like it just kind of feels like there's not really a whole lot there. Like, and like there's no like real dynamic shots or anything as in terms of visuals, I feel like. And it just nobody really gives like an exceptional performance either. So
Mhm.
it's kind of something I guess I was expecting a little bit more out of it.
Yeah, I feel like it really could have used like almost like maybe an ending whirlwind of like really interesting imagery and stuff like that. Because when that happens, it's just not very good. Like there's this dream sequence where Dennis Hopper is sleeping on the couch, and then in walks oh god, I just said her name, Mora. In walks Mora in a towel, and basically they go to sleep with each other. But then all of a sudden, she's a giant mermaid, and her like big fake tentacle is wrapped around Dennis Hopper. Cool, but also not very convincing, especially because I don't think Dennis Hopper is convincing. And I really think if Linda Lawson, who plays Mora, if she just was a little bit better, maybe I would have liked it. Because I feel like to have this role as a siren, as a lady who draws men in, basically seduces them to death, you really have to have like an X factor, something really interesting there. And I just don't think she really has that.
Or if you're gonna make something like that where it's like a real like Hitchcockian type of premise where it's like
Mhm.
she is luring these people in and there's like this big mystery. I think it needs to be a little more suspenseful.
Exactly. But yeah, because it doesn't do a good job because he gets told that the two men have been murdered. But I feel like maybe the movie would have been better if they had discovered the bodies very recently or something. And the top angle was maybe played a little more into it because the cops show up like one time and they're like, we're looking for Mora. And that's it. Um, and that's when the lady who works at the merry-go-round kind of gets her time in there. I think it's Ellen is her name, but it's played by Lana Anders. Which did you recognize her? Oh,
There's
from another. It's from a Francis Ford Coppola movie, Dementia 13. She's the star of Dementia
wow.
13. If you know that very memorable
And
movie. What the
that
hell?
movie, that's right. That
Only
one.
notable because it's directed by Francis Ford
I
Coppola.
and now when you said Francis Ford Coppola, I went to Francis Ford Coppola's most famous movie, which is Courses, Pestro.
Oh, yeah. Oh, really? I thought it was Godfather Part 3, which it's
No,
oh, okay. I'm sorry. Which you
no,
probably have
it's
never even seen those.
Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue got married. That's the other one.
I've never seen that one. I've heard it's good.
It's it's good. It's good.
Yes.
But
Okay.
anyway, what would you say?
Um I don't remember, but But anyway, which is like, that's an angle of a weird angle of the movie, because she's definitely into Dennis Hopper the whole time. They're like talking and they're really close to each other. And by the end of the movie, I'll reveal the ending ends on her being like, "Hey, next time you're on shore leave, be sure to visit me." Basically picking up the pieces after this girl's she dies at the end of the movie. Mora dies, and she's just like, "Hey, you can always go out with me next time you're here,
That
Johnny."
that's what you want to hear after like the woman you've been in love with, she dies, and like imagine somebody came up to you like at the funeral and was just like,
Mhm.
there's always me.
I could be your rebound. Yeah, it just feels a little weird. But he seems okay with it. Well, especially because it'd be different if she revealed herself to be a siren. But the big twist, or the twist, I should put in quotations, at the end of the movie, no, she wasn't. Was convinced that she was. Basically, the captain had brainwashed her into thinking that she was some kind of sea creature, to the point where there's a whole sequence where she's out in the water and she's like getting crashed by waves. She's like, "Oh, the sea is calling to me. I'm one
So
with
you
the
think
sea."
so you think that's why she was eating mackerel for breakfast? Because he was just like, you're a fish lady. You like eating fish. And so
Oh,
like she was
Cyrus.
just she was just like that next level brainwash where it's like he basically told her like, no, you love fish.
You love mackerel for breakfast. Oh, and those seagulls, you can pick one out of the air and just hug it, which is what happens to her.
I remember so gross.
Oh, I couldn't even imagine. I love that scene because Dennis Hopper's like just nibbling on the fish, and you could tell he's just like, so good. He's barely eating it. Uh, but yeah, I just think that whole idea that this captain had such control over her, that she was so brainwashed into thinking all of these weird things about herself, is maybe just a little preposterous.
Yeah. and I well, what the only thing I could imagine, because didn't they say they found her when she was like a little girl though?
Yeah, but it seemed like it was more of like a thing recently that he was doing this. Maybe he had been doing it since she was born, because his reasoning was that he never wanted her to be with a man, right? Just to keep her safe.
Is that the case, or do you think it was more of like, he was wanting her for himself?
I don't know, because there's one scene where Dennis Hopper is getting a massage from another man at a bathhouse. This like really big guy, and he's really laying into him, right? Captain walks in, and I think the masseuse goes, "Hey, you look a little tense. You need a pounding." And then the captain's like, "Oh, that would be a delight, but not today." I don't know. There's something a little odd with that scene.
You go to like a men's bathhouse. That's just completely normal.
Well, they treat it that way. The Mora's like, "Oh, you seem a little tense. You need to go to the bathhouse, get a massage." But fun fact about this movie, actually, I think that scene is completely intentional, because director Curtis Harrington, he made a lot of gay movies. He was a part of the new queer
Oh,
movement. Yes,
oh,
so actually, when I did read into it, that scene is a part. Technically, the whole movie's about like hiding who you really are, and all of that stuff, which I mean is interesting. Add it to the history of
okay.
this movie. Even though I guess it's weird, because we do instead of following Mona, I keep on wanting to call her Mora, we follows Dennis Hopper, who's kind of caught into this world. Um, and yeah, I basically gave away the whole plot, because this movie is an hour 10 minutes, and it's pretty slow. I wouldn't say it's like boring slow. I was fine the whole time, but it definitely doesn't do a lot.
I was a little uninterested in some
Mm,
parts.
I could see that.
I wasn't like completely like, oh my God, I want this to be over, but there was at certain points where I was just kind of like, I'm kind of ready for this to speed up a little bit.
Yeah, I can totally see that. There was something about it that maybe intrigued me a little bit about it,
Hmm.
but I could see this one not working for a lot of people, because It just feels like it's just a few steps away from greatness, like just a few steps away from being truly something awesome. It
And
needed it.
it,
Just need to be
yeah,
weirder.
yeah, it needs, like you said, it needs something extra, it needs an X factor in there. It needs something
Mhm.
to kind of just set it apart. Because otherwise, I don't really think there's anything too interesting in there to look at in this movie. But um, if like there was some, like I said, some type of dynamic score or music, it
Mhm.
probably would have bumped it up a little bit higher for me. But as it stands now, I probably wouldn't recommend it. Um, I would probably say, it's not really my cup of tea,
Mhm.
but I could see somebody though like watching this and being like, "Oh wow, that was really interesting," and I really loved the premise of it and everything. But for me, it didn't catch me. It didn't grab me.
Yeah, and me, I'd probably lean a little more towards lightly recommend, but it's like recommend with a few caveats. I don't think this is going to be a movie just for anybody. I think you already have to be into this era of movie, kind of know what to get, and then no, it's not going to be the most exciting thing, but I do think digging under it, there is at least a few interesting things to make it somewhat cool. So recommend to the correct person. And pretty much if you just heard what I just said and you thought, oh, that's cool, that's for you. Everybody else, don't go watch it.
Who's the correct person, Nathan?
Me, I guess. I'm recommending it to myself.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, there we go. But I do think that puts the wrap on this one. It is one like I said, there's not a ton that goes into this one. But Ryan, what are we covering on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, we are going to be watching the movie One False Move, and you got to pay for that one.
Yikes. No, that's okay. I'm excited to watch that one.
I'm excited to pay money.
Yeah, that's it. That's the part that excites you. If you want to email us, you can email us at drivingdoublefeaturepodcast@gmail.com. Also, be sure to check us out over on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and check out our Patreon. But until next time.
Until next time.